live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Hey, hey, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, 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 we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line. Hey.
All right, Steph. Yeah. NFL Combine.
It's our real good topics, y'all.
Bro, yes, real good topics. I'm sorry.
No, you good. We excited about this. That's
why.
Yeah. Let's get to it.
Yeah. Real good topics. First topic, NFL Combine. What did you think about what you saw, what you heard, kind of some of the stuff that came from that weekend?
I'm going to say this first. Go Dogs. Because they showed out. Okay. They showed out. They showed out. Anyway, what I saw was what I think is about to be a serious shift in the NFL, because typically what we pay attention to for some reason during the combine, and it's all the skill stuff, but typically we're watching quarterbacks and running backs and offensive players, basically. Sometimes we might look at a DB or two, right? Mm-hmm. This is the first time the spotlight, the shine was on the D-line.
Yeah.
Shine was on D-line this time. And what it says to me is, and I know you're going to talk about this, but if what I've seen from the one, I can at least say, I'm gonna just use Jordan Davis, okay, because he's the one, right? He's what stood out.
Yeah.
He's the one.
He's definitely the one.
So what we saw from Jordan Davis as far as his 40 time, his broad jump, his vertical, all setting records for somebody at 341 pounds. Okay. Mm-hmm. Or they said they were records for somebody over 300 pounds, basically. Mm-hmm. And so, but I've watched this man on the field, because I know one of your things is going to be about how this translates, right? Mm-hmm. But watching him on the field, I've seen he got light feet. At 341, he got light feet. Mm-hmm. He quick and he got light feet, and he really understands the game. Mm-hmm. So I feel like they are being prepared better for that to translate, if that makes sense. It could be just the program, could just be UGA, I don't know. But, I think it was another UGA player who was at the combine who said that he felt like, I can't remember his name. He felt like Kirby Smart was making a purposeful effort to prepare them not to just play at the college level, but to play at a professional level with the way that they prepare.
That's good.
And so I feel like that's going to translate, but ultimately what it does is it just says to me that we are about to see a shift, I think. We've seen for over the last few years, these high power offenses, these kids coming out, they're really fast, they can throw the ball, they can move, all the. Now if you're about to see these D linemen who can move with you at the speed that you move, that can catch you, like, it's gonna be ugly. I think the memes I saw with Jordan Davis is like him running, like that view of him running at 40 at you, like this train right here.
Yeah. Well, they showed a view of him running against Baker Mayfield and I want to say Jameis Winston, and Jameis faster than both.
Yeah.
My issue with the combine is that, and there was a good analogy that you used
about interviews.
It's like someone who interviews well but is bad at their job.
Yep.
And I think that we've seen some very, very explosive people at the combine who rocked it out, and it did translate. But I think there are a lot of people that had great combines that we don't even remember now. We may have remembered them that day or for a couple of months after because they were so hyped.
Yeah.
But we don't remember them now. And I think that the combine has become so big and they put so much around it and they put so much emphasis and importance on it that what really gets lost is a lot of these players who come into the league who don't even get invited to the combine go on to have these great careers.
Absolutely.
You know, and so
Absolutely.
I think that, let me be fair, looking at, you know, for those of you who know, I played defensive line in college. So looking at defensive linemen run this fast and thinking to myself, like, there's no way that guys are supposed to run this fast. It's something to see. But even when you talk about, like, you know, that this can in some way impact the game, I think defensive linemen, you know, we think about an Aaron Donald and the Khalil Mack, and like these guys have been running step for step with quarterbacks for some time now. I think the way that the rules are, like, you know, they'll be stopped from having the type of impact on the game that'll be, you know, transformative. Like, I mean, we've seen how the rules have transformed passing, and so I think unless there's a rule change, even with as folks are going to always, you know, progress and evolve, and they're going to be bigger, faster, stronger. But as long as the rules are what they are, I think it's still going to put some limitations on defenses, but I think this does help. Like, I'm not saying that, you know, having 340 and he'll probably end up getting back up to 360.
Yeah, because he
380.
lost. Yeah.
You know, run that fast, like, I mean, and be that explosive. It is.
Yeah, that broad jump and that vertical means something too, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, it definitely shows explosion.
Yeah.
My issue is that that explosion doesn't always translate to the field.
Right.
And
I feel like for him, yes, but
no. I'm just talking about across the board. I think that Jordan Davis is everything that we think he's gonna be. I really do. I watching him, I was like, man, I know he's not gonna make it to Washington, but and we'll talk about this later, since we decided to trade for a quarterback.
It's okay.
You know, hopefully we can do something very productive with this pick.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Thank you. I need it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm sorry.
No,
next topic.
I know.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Brittany Griner. We got this story kind of late, and when I say we, I mean like everybody in
because this happened right.
Yeah, because this happened the beginning of the beginning of February, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And so Brittany Griner, who is a basketball player, if I'm not mistaken, she plays for the Phoenix Mercury.
Yep.
She was detained in Russia for carrying vape cartridges that in her luggage that contained hashish. She could face 5 to 10 years. I see one of the questions that you asked was, is this a political ploy?
Yeah. I mean, I don't.
Do you think so?
I don't put anything past. Here's my thing. I highly doubt. So let me start with this. So first of all, Brittany Griner has been to Russia before. She plays overseas in the offseason. She's been to Russia before. She has to have either forgotten that it was in her luggage, or she's been able to get through with no issue before.
Right.
With having this same stuff with her. So if we just taking her forgetting it in her luggage off the table, I feel like she has been through customs in Russia before, and this has not been an issue.
Yeah.
So I feel like, well, what's different now than any other time she's been back there? She's been there, right? Oh. People clamping down on y'all, US included, because of your invasion. And I'm not from Russia, so I can say these words: invasion of Ukraine.
Right.
So I feel like I wouldn't put it beyond President Putin to use this
as a bargaining chip.
I
can see that. But it also makes me want to grab Brittany Griner and say, you have to be aware of the climate of the world. Like, you can't be so stuck in your bubble that.
Back to my point about elite athlete.
So, and that's the point I was about to make. I was about to say, like, you know, even if I'm used to getting away with it, then at the point where you get caught, your argument can't be, well, I was used to getting away with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so even if this is a political ploy, you just allowed yourself to be the pawn of it.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
like,
you help them. Absolutely.
And so one of the things on here is I think that this could be the catalyst for some talks about WNBA salary and how she wouldn't have had to go overseas to play if they made enough money here.
There you go. That's
and so, you know, my argument has always been about the economics of basketball.
You're the business guy, yes.
But in looking at the percentage of the pie that the WNBA players get, you know,
the equity isn't there.
Right. The equity just isn't there, you know. And I'm not even comparing it to you know, the NBA or men's basketball, but just looking at, like, you know, the fairness of these owners saying that I'm going to take this percentage of the pie and leave you guys this, you know.
Figure it out. That's what they're telling them. Figure it out.
Right. Yeah. And this is what happened when they got to figure it out. They got to go somewhere else to play basketball to get good money. And, you know, they only got so much time to maximize their earning potential as a basketball player. Absolutely.
And she's, and let's be clear, y'all, like, Brittany Griner is not, she's one of the more popular WNBA players. So she's not, you know, this is no knock, no shade to anybody else that plays, but it's some people we don't know their name. We just don't. She's not one of those people. Brittany Griner is not one of those people. So
not at all. She's definitely one of the faces of the league.
Exactly. So it's just really, this story can go all kind of ways. Like we just talked about, the entitlement piece, the political part of this, but for me, it was definitely, that's why I put it here. Like, for me, that was what caught me. Like, she wouldn't even have to be going through this if y'all would do right.
Right.
Not that I'm giving her a pass, because she could have done right anyway, but she wouldn't be in this situation to have to if they would do right. That's it. So I hope that this does spark that conversation. I mean, you know, sometimes God will use somebody to bring something to light.
Right.
So I hope that is what this does. And then I hope that she gets home, because that's the other part of this. Everybody, the U.S. Embassy, nobody's there on boots on the ground because they removed everybody from Russia.
Right.
So she's just in this space of limbo. And
prayers up for her, though, because I pray that she's not, like, being mistreated or anything like that. I just think about, like, being in that position and how, like, it has to be nerve-wracking and, you know, frustrating, and
uncomfortable,
you know,
not knowing, because what if they can't work something out?
Right. So prayers up for her.
Absolutely.
Prayers up for her.
Absolutely.
Deshaun Watson.
He just all about all of this, all these folk with all these issues.
Legal issues, right.
And like, what is happening?
I'm not here to cast any, you know, judgment on what he may be into or what he's done or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
But I think that, and this is why these things are very dicey. I think in having Chris Brown come out, right, after being levied with some rape and sexual assault allegations, and come out and have the proof to clear his name, starts to cast doubt on a lot of this stuff that we hear. Because, you know, there was a hashtag going around, believe all women, when, in my opinion, believe all facts. You know what I'm saying? And so we hear this thing with Deshaun Watson coming out, and initially it's all anonymous women, and then, you know, one woman comes forward, and then we get some other women who are going to come forward, and they all come in for this civil case. Well, what ended up just happening was that because of these civil cases, the grand jury in Houston, they're going to take a look and see if they need to indict criminally. And so because of that, Deshaun Watson's lawyer has, you know, has advised him to invoke his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. And so with one of the things that I've been seeing for that, and you can tell me a little bit of what you've been saying, is that people are starting to say now, oh, since he doesn't want to talk and he's not going to talk, then maybe he has something to hide. Like, have you been seeing some of that stuff too, or like, what have you been saying about this whole Deshaun Watson situation?
You know what? So I made a promise to myself, because I have a connection to him being from Georgia, and
right,
you know, all that I would wait on the facts.
Right.
So I purposely not paid attention to the legal side of this. I've only watched it from the sports side. I'll be honest. I've only watched what's happening from his sports side, not the legal side of this. Right. Because anybody who knows, even if you just watch court shows or stuff on TV, you know that just because he's not talking doesn't make him guilty. I think when this first started, he wanted to speak on his behalf.
Right.
And was advised even at that point not to. And I don't think he was going to speak something that would have incriminated him. He just wanted to let people know where he was coming from, and that this was not his side of this, right?
Right.
So am I going to be judge and jury to say, oh, well, you don't want to talk, you must be guilty? Not at all. I'm not. Right. I'm gonna wait on the facts. Yeah. When y'all bring out the facts, when somebody can say something that's factual, I'm here for it.
Right.
Whatever that looks like. Like, if I need to be disappointed in him because it's real, then I'll be that, right? If I need to be pissed at these women and whoever put them out here to do this, then I'll be that. But I just need to wait and see the facts. So I have not really, I will be honest, I'm not really paying attention to this from the criminal standpoint. I told you when we had our meeting that I'm more from the sports side, right? The reports are out that all of the NFL teams that are interested are just kind of holding their breath and waiting to see, because there are teams that are interested in Deshaun Watson coming to be their quarterback. And the part that struck me though was, I think this was Adam Schefter that put this report out, and he said he definitely will receive some punitive action from the NFL. And I'm on the side, I'm thinking if we go through this grand jury and they don't find any criminal charges, the civil part, I mean, as quiet as it's kept, a whole bunch of NFL players have civil suits on stuff all the time, because people come at them all the time because they got money. It's just what it is. But so if the criminal side of this, I'm just going to say, if the criminal side of this, the grand jury comes back and they don't find that there's a need to go forward, I'm confused about what the NFL is punishing him for.
Right. Yeah.
What are you punishing him for?
And that's one of those things where, you know, when you're negotiating a collective bargaining agreement, like your commissioner should not have autonomy when it comes to levying punishment. He just shouldn't.
It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense at all. Like if he is not found by a grand jury to need to be criminally charged, then what are you punishing him for?
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yeah.
He's been punished enough if it's a lie, right?
Right. Yeah.
He's got a whole season out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. Make it make sense.
Right.
So I can't speak to the legal side other than we gonna see.
We'll see.
We're going to see. That's what we're going to do. We're going to see because I can't wait. Mm-hmm.
Now put the cameras on me, 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 put the cameras on me.